What do you want from me? I muttered, almost inaudible, but the monster somehow heard it. My little kitten. The thing cooed, its red pupils turned to slits as I looked up at it. What do I want from you? You asked. I don't want anything from you. What I want is you. It slowly reached out a clawed hand. I will take care of you much better than your brother ever could. I'll even let your pet live. The fact that Nuka was possibly still alive flew over my head at that moment. I was just too scared to process it. What happens if I don't want to? I asked reluctantly as my voice shook. You don't want to know now, yes or no? It asked calmly. I wish I could say I ran. I wish I could say I somehow got rid of it. But I can't. I took its hand. It helped me up, and I suddenly felt tired, and I started to fall forward before everything went black. When I woke, all I could see was black. I was confused on what happened until I remembered Derek. Oh God, Derek! I sat up and tried to make my eyes focus, but they wouldn't. I could feel I was sitting on a bed, an old one too, as every time I shifted my weight, the wood and springs creaked under me. I could hear hushed whispers and quiet pops like when you crack your knuckles or back. I was about to swing my legs over the edge of the bed when I had gotten a strong feeling that I shouldn't. I had reached for my phone in my back pocket and was relieved to find it was still there. I turned it on and used the flashlight feature. When I looked up from the screen, I screamed. A large, dead-looking, wolf-like creature looked up at me, its eyes glowing like when you use flash to take a picture of your pet and they're looking right at you when you take it. What I didn't expect it to do was for it to lift its head off its paws. I was about to scream again when I noticed a scar that went over its muzzle and curved up to go over its right eye. My eyes were blurred by the tears that were welling up as I realized what this thing was. Nuka? Oh my God. What happened to you? I muttered, covering my mouth as I slowly slid off the bed and walked towards what was now my dog. The only reason I knew it was her was because of that scar. She had gotten it from her mother being too rough when playing with her. It wasn't a pretty sight when she first got it. Nuka rose to her paws and took a step towards me. She was around my height now, about 5'5", when she was just below my knee when I had left for school. I held my free hand up to her and she gently put her nose against my hand. This was when I couldn't hold my tears back anymore. I jolted forwards and wrapped my arms around her neck and started bawling my eyes out. What I heard from her next wasn't any worried whines or happy panting. What I heard was growling. Nuka had turned her head towards what I soon found out was the door to the room, and was growling a low, threatening rumble in the back of her throat. At first I thought she was growling at me, but that thought quickly changed when I heard that goddamned monster chuckle from that direction.
I'm very sorry to ruin this touching moment, but you are needed downstairs, my little kitten.
It cooed. I glared daggers at it, but all it did was chuckle. It shooed Nuka away and took my hand gently in its claws. It slowly led me down old, creaky stairs in the darkness. I didn't want to fight due to fear of what would happen. I still had my phone in my hand, so I shone it around, and as I did, I noticed something I hadn't before when I had turned on the flashlight feature the first time. Everywhere the light hit, the shadows slithered out of the way like snakes. I shuddered as I walked with the creature. It led me into a room lit with candles, but instead of the normal golden light the flames gave off, they were red. Scarlet light danced along the walls with the shadows. In the middle of the room, there was a circle with a star. No, an upside-down star. I couldn't breathe. I was so terrified. It led me to the middle of the circle and sat me down. It then started chanting. The chanting was in a language I couldn't understand. One by one, the candles were forcefully blown out, but I couldn't tell what was doing it. Once the room was completely dark, I felt the monster's cold claws lightly touch my neck. Before it could react, they ripped into my neck, and I couldn't breathe. I started to choke on my own blood, and I could still hear that monster chanting. I started to wonder why it was killing me now when it could have done it when I found my brother. I moved my hand to clutch my throat as I toppled over from the lack of oxygen and blood loss. My face ended up falling onto something sharp, cutting my cheek. As the monster's voice slowly faded, I could breathe again. I still felt the blood gushing from my neck, but I could breathe. That's when I noticed the monster had stopped chanting and was kneeling next to my head.
Good girl. You were a very, very good girl.
It cooed as it lifted me up. Every part of me was limp. Only after a few hours, I would be able to move again. It took me back to the room I had woken up in and laid me on the bed. It said something to Nuka, but I can't remember what. The blood hasn't stopped gushing since then, and I can't find out how to make it stop. I did research when the thing wasn't watching, trying to find the name of it. I came across a page on a website I can't remember the name of. It had blurred, slightly distorted pictures and little to no facts on it, but what it did have actually said a lot. The monster's name is Durgoth, a shadow demon-like monster that has been around for hundreds to thousands of years. It also said that he has no heart and eats the hearts of his victims so he can feel emotion. There had been many cases on quote-unquote murders that were a lot like how I found my brother. A mangled, bloody mess, chest ripped open, heart missing, along with another person in the house found in the same way, but not missing. Durgoth took me out of all the others he could have. I guess he sees me differently. I guess, in a way, I gave him something he never could get from the others he's killed. I gave him love. I guess you could say I also gave him a heart. And I don't mind anymore. I'm now 20, and I don't look like I've aged a day after the ritual. I'm happy. My dog Nuka's happy, and Durgoth's happy. And I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Well, my little fluff balls, that was my creepypasta story. The story of the Heartless one. Or at least Kat's experience with him. If you liked this, hit that like button, and if you want to know when I upload next time, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And you should be notified, unless YouTube decides to break again. But anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful, scary Halloween. And this has been Secret Kitty, and I'll be fading out until next video. Goodbye. Knock, knock, I am at your door now. I am coming in. For me to ask permission. Knock, knock, I'm inside your room now. Where is it you've been? A game of hide and seek, so bad I'm coming closer. Looking underneath your bed, but you're not here. I wonder, could you be inside the closet? That was a lot better than the first time. Anyway, hope you guys liked that little spooky song, and I'm sorry for not posting this earlier. Bye. I'm a sick kitty.